artificial to be brighter. So the reason for the use of the global simulation system seems to be to hide the fact that the solar system has been invaded by a system of stellar cores. And you may look at Article 116 entitled Planet X Objects, Unbelievable Evidence in Size to see what these look like. And these objects are absorbing energy from the sun and causing it to continuously weaken. Some of these objects seem to also be in orbit around the Earth and to be emitting light. And you may look at Article 188 entitled What is Causing the Ocean to Recede All Over the World for more details on that. Now, current SDO images suggest that the sun is now much weaker than it was years ago, and you may look at Article 195 entitled Stellar Cores in the Dying Sun for more details on that. In addition, the same SDO images indicate that the sun is going completely dark periodically, and that this seems to be happening more frequently. And you may look at Article 211 entitled Planet X and Sun Interaction. Sun goes dark on April 18th, 2018 for more details on that. In addition, there seems to be stellar cores in orbit around the Earth, and these are emitting light, and this is therefore one of the reasons why these sun simulators and the heavy chemtrailing is being used in the Earth's atmosphere. Also, nowadays, whenever the sun is close to the midday position, there seems to be a halo around it, and the sky within the halo looks gray instead of blue. The sky is supposed to look lighter blue the closer it is to the sun's position, but the opposite is occurring. The sky looks light blue close to the horizon and looks darker blue as we move toward the sun when it is high in the sky. And then it turns gray within the halo that is usually present around the sun. And we can see this halo here. It's usually covered up by a whole lot of dense chemtrail clouds, but even with these dense chemtrail clouds, it's usually obvious that the sky looks darker gray and not even dark blue. Whilst further out, if there are holes in the clouds, you can see that the sky looks darker blue than it does closer to the horizon. So this halo suggests that the sun is now extremely dim, and the sun simulator used at the midday position is not illuminating the atmosphere sufficiently for the sky to appear as light blue as when the real sun or before the real sun had dimmed. So the sky closer to the horizon will most likely look lighter blue because it is being illuminated by numerous atmosphere simulators. So we are looking through more of the atmosphere when we look at the sky close to the horizon, and this part of the sky is being illuminated by more simulators, so it's likely to look lighter blue. Now, the fact that there is this halo around the sun, I think that suggests that the simulator may look a lot like this device that was seen in SETI images and that I wrote about in 2016. This is what this object looks like. No matter what the orientation is of the part of the device that is shaped like a parabolic reflector, it always looks circular, and that means that it's actually a spherical object. It seems to be transparent because we can usually see whatever is behind it in space. So it seems to be a spherical, transparent object around what is a light source that sometimes switches on and emits a bright light. And so this object is most likely designed to operate like a plasma ball. And so the simulator seems to be the one that is in orbit and is the one that is on operation when the sun is supposed to be in the midday position. And this picture actually comes from a Chris Potter video, and this is from a time in 2016 when he still seemed to believe in what he was doing. And I came up with a design for that simulator, and you can see it in this image here. This would be the parabolic reflector behind it. This would be the transparent sphere, possibly two transparent spheres, one inside the other. And inside would be the actual center of the light source. And therefore it would look somewhat like plasma lamps. Somewhat like that. You can see a bright light emitted from there. So this is possibly how it's designed to operate. Now here what we have is a representation of the atmosphere, and if the observer is here, the observer looks upwards at the simulator that is in operation at the midday position. We would see this halo produced by the spherical part of the device around the central light source, and this is possibly why the sky looks gray. Also, the observer looks through less of the atmosphere when the observer looks straight up. So there's less of the atmosphere to be illuminated, but possibly this simulator, because it's further out and from the surface of the Earth, is possibly not illuminating the atmosphere enough to compensate for the loss of the sun. Whilst the simulators in the atmosphere, because there are more of them, because the observer is actually looking through more of the atmosphere when looking close to the horizon, will therefore make the atmosphere look lighter blue when the observer looks in that direction. So the fact that the sky is looking so much darker whenever the observer looks upward is an indication that the sun is now much dimmer, or possibly not even illuminating the atmosphere at all anymore. So the fact that the atmosphere is now being illuminated from below also indicates that an attempt is being made to illuminate the atmosphere further in order to make it lighter blue, and perhaps also in an attempt to cause reflection of the chemtrail clouds below the simulator in orbit, so that the dark gray region inside the halo is not as noticeable. All these are likely a sign that the sun is much dimmer than even the SDO data suggests, since it is unlikely that we are seeing the real sun from the Earth's atmosphere or from the Earth's surface at any time. It is possible that the SDO data is being manipulated to give the impression that the sun is in a better state than it really is. It is even possible that the sun is now completely dark most of the time. In conclusion, there is substantial evidence that a global sun simulation system is in operation on planet Earth. Some of the components of the system operate from an orbital position, and some operate from within the atmosphere. Powerful pink-colored laser light beams seem to be the method through which power is transmitted to these devices. The fact that the Earth's atmosphere is being illuminated from below with the likely aim of producing a blue sky, and that the sky looks darker close to the sun simulator when it is high in the sky or close to the midday position, suggests that the sun may be in a worse state than even the current available SDO data would suggest. And here are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.